Ladies, thank y'all for joining us today. It's good to talk to y'all. Haven't seen y'all in quite a while. But just first, before we get started, just real quickly, just tell everybody who you are and what you're doing now.
Go, Sam.
Okay. I'm Samantha Conley, and right now I'm in school, and I'm doing kind of like a daycare program for nurses and doctors at a hospital that we have down here called Oshner. Just kind of trying to make ends meet right now.
I'm Macey Cox, and I'm at Bethel University, continuing my softball career. So.
All right. Well, softball is clearly the reason why we got y'all here. And first thing, just want to talk about, because we're mainly wanting to talk about last season and the state championship tournament win and all that. But before that, with your sophomore class wasn't that big really here, but talk a little bit about when you guys realized, maybe in your freshman year when you won the regular season conference title, or even last season. When was what series or what game or even practices where everything felt like it came together and you're like, okay, this team's going to be something special?
I think after maybe the loss from Northeast, everybody kind of, their eyes were open. Because, I mean, we obviously had the talent, and I think that's when it clicked with a lot of girls.
I think it was when we got swept by MMI, because, we've always been told we're going to be fantastic. This is going to be, quote unquote, one of the best teams that Awamba's ever had. And when we got swept, and we had never been swept, so we were kind of like, and it was kind of like, okay, we kind of need to step it up a notch, and it really helped us bond and come together.
Okay. Talk a little bit more about that. Like, what was, after coming off that sweep or getting swept by MMI, just talk a bit about what the mindset was going into practice, the next practice leading up to the next series.
Oh, everything changed. Everyone's attitude changed. Everything changed. We all came together. We all talked about it. We kind of like reflected on it, and we just used any mistakes, all mistakes that were made, and tried to make positives out of it and tried to get it out while we could in that next practice.
All right. Well, briefly, let's talk about y'all's freshman year where, you won the regular season title by sweeping Meridian at Meridian. Just talk about what that meant to be a part of the first regular season fast pitch championship team.
I mean, I've never really been a part of something like that, like with high school and stuff. So that gut feeling was like, there was so much emotion going on. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but just the happiness and the we did it type thing, all that hard work we put in the fall and preseason of the spring, like the feeling was good.
Yeah, it was really good, especially with that game when Bailey decided to take her own shin out in like the first inning. Macey had to come in and be so clutch and so good. It was just, wow, it was fun.
Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong, when y'all got back that night, Dr. Allen actually met y'all at the event center and congratulated you, correct?
I want to say yes, and I'm not going to say no because he congratulated us a lot. But the only one I do remember is when we came back from Jones and got back to like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And, I mean, he could have been in bed getting ready for the next day, but he was sitting in the parking lot waiting on us to come back. So I'm not going to say he didn't, but the Jones game.
I'm going to give him credit. I think
I would too.
Well, you talked about Macey there, talking about how Dr. Allen's there a lot. Talk about what that means to you as players. To not, of course, your coach is there for you, and you're going to have some staff that you connect with that's always going to be rooting for you, and all the staff here is rooting for all of our athletics. But to have the head of the college, the president, show that he cares, what does that mean to you guys?
He has so much going on, and the fact that he takes time to come to not only softball but every sporting event, I mean, that just shows, like, he cares, obviously. But
yeah, no, especially, like, down here, softball's not the it sport that you play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like soccer, football. That's kind of, like, our priority in Louisiana. So the fact that he was so involved and, like, knew so much about the game. And he even asked, like, personal questions. Like, he asked how I came to ICC and, like, how I felt with the transition and everything. So he kind of made it like on a personal level and like got himself just involved in all those kinds of different ways.
Well, one other thing I do want to mention about Dr. Allen is, that last month of the season last year, y'all were pretty much on the road because of rain delays with the state tournament and everything. But at the region tournament, of course, you just won the state tournament, but you're at the region tournament and, graduation's going on. Everybody else is getting to walk. But Dr. Allen's down there in Poplarville, and y'all get to have a graduation ceremony essentially right there in front of at their baseball stadium. Talk about that and just kind of the emotions and everything that went into that day when you were walking and just like, I'm graduating, but I'm still a part of it even though I'm not there.
Yes, just like our freshman year, some of the girls, we was in the region tournament and they didn't know if they was going to get to walk or not. And yes, even though we didn't get to walk on the big stage, him coming and personally giving us our diploma, like that's special right there. Like that's something, honestly, I would rather have walked on the softball field than across the stage just because, but it was special. Not every school's president, will take the time to do that.
Definitely made it feel real too.
Sam, elaborate a little bit more on it there. What did it go through your mindset then?
Well, because we weren't there for basically the whole last few weeks of school. We were playing softball, staying out for 3 weeks in a row because of the rain and everything. So the fact that he was there handing us our diplomas and we were like, whoa, like this is it. Like we just graduated. 2 years of college is done. Sadly, Itawamba was done, and it just made it like, whoa, this is it.
All right, well, let's get into last season now. Let's talk about some key games and stuff now. Sam, I do want to start mainly with the Pearl River series up here where you got your first collegiate home run.
Yeah.
And that home run actually started a rally in game 2 because we were behind. I believe we were behind 4-1. That sparked the rally. We were able to get the sweep. And we all know Pearl River's always a good team. So if you can sweep them, that's big. And that helped push you guys further. But talk about the feeling of getting that first home run in such a big game.
Well, I'm not normally a home run hitter, you can say. So that was only like my 3rd home run I've ever hit in general. So it was still really exciting. And I just remember Coach Kirk the whole time like, no way. And then he was like, touch third. And then, you're coming to home plate. You see all your teammates there, and it's all congratulating. Then it settles down and you're like, oh, I just did that. Sometimes it's like, oh, okay. And
right, well, another thing I want to talk about with Macey here, you had a walk-off as well that was against Northwest. To be honest, Sam, you scored the winning run off of it, but it's kind of scary with it deflecting off the pitcher's face mask there against Northwest. But y'all talk about that game, that series as well against Northwest, and getting that. Macey, talk about that walk-off hit that you had as well.
In the moment, like, I was like, boom. And then after it was over, I was making sure she was okay and everything. But just, I don't know, just that solid hit. In that series, we were counting on that series. But, not every game goes our way. And it's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row playing on back-to-back. And just being able to step up for the team. When I was at that bat, I was like, I just need to hit right here, just like in the hole, something. But when I got that hit, I was like, felt pretty good.
I didn't even know it went towards the pitcher, if we're being honest. I was just trying to run my butt off as fast as I could to home plate.
All right. Well, another series we do have to talk about a little bit too from last season and during the regular season, of course, is against Gulf Coast. I believe they were ranked 7th and we were 10th, I believe. And that was a crucial series, not necessarily, because at the time we were still in the hunt for winning the regular season again and defending that. But talk a little bit about that series from your guys' perspective and what it meant to be able to sweep a good team like that as well.
Well, I know I didn't perform the best I could have. So I was really glad a lot of my teammates could step up and help me out with that because, I was frustrated with myself. I let myself get in my head. And so the fact that so many people saw that and could come up and be like, it's okay, just shake it off, we got your back. And they did have my back. I felt really happy about that. for
Nice.
sure.
I mean, like you said, Gulf Coast is always a big competitor of ours because they're good. But I think after winning that first game, like it gave some girls some like we can do this. And as well as you know, like our first games are like distance in the score, and then the second game's like nail biters. But it just shows the fight that the team had, and everybody picked everybody else up.
All right. Well, now let's fast forward to the conference tournament. Jones hosting it, but then the torrential rains came, just kept pushing everything back, so it got moved, and just turned it into a one-day tournament essentially.
Yeah.
But now I'm sure
Mhm.
with the way y'all played in summer ball and stuff growing up, one-day tournaments was not that rare, so it's pretty common. But talk about what it meant to be able to. First off, you had to beat Gulf Coast again to start the day.
Mhm.
Eddie let it off with a leadoff home run, and then it just snowballed, and we were able to get that win. But talk about that day, and more importantly, talk about that day, and then that final hit that Maggie had. And I think, Macey, you scored the
Yes,
winning
sir. I was
run.
on second.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
you scored the winning run. Take us through that day, and then through that final hit to win. You're like, oh wow, we won this thing. That we won this tournament this year. Now, the year before you won it in the regular season, but there was still a lot of work to be done. So you didn't have that dog pile and all that emotion.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about that day, what it meant, and then take us through that last play.
At the beginning, like before we started playing, Coach Kirk, he was like, he always says you control your own destiny. And like we just told ourselves we have to take this one inning at a time, one game at a time. We just got to focus on this game, and then the next game will come. So I think that's what helped us. And we knew beating it. We played Gulf Coast. That would be the third or fourth time we played them, and we knew they were out for blood. I mean, we knew that they were like, we need to beat them. I mean, we're not gonna let them beat us again. And I think us taking it just inning by inning, out by out, like that helped us get to the championship against Pearl River, and then with that game, we did the same thing, and then like even though we had such a big lead on them, we knew Pearl River, their sticks were good, and we knew that we couldn't just lay down and think we had the game won because they had the potential to come back and make it a close game. So I think us just taking it little steps at a time, that's what helped us get through that day.
Yeah, I can honestly say that whole tournament, we just left everything we had on the field. Maddie hitting the home run, JoJo with the over the fence catch. That was awesome.
That was
And
definitely a game changer too.
it really was. And all of our pitchers throwing as hard as they could, all of our fielders diving, and just the hustle and the want was just there, and it just all came together nicely.
Okay, well, let's talk about the dog pile there. Macey, you score, and then everybody's emptying out of the dugout, and somehow you two have looked back at pictures. You two were the last two to the dog pile somehow. So, but just talk about that feeling and when everybody just came together there after that to know that you're champions again, and it's there's more to come, but in that moment you can just live in the happiness.
Bringing it back to freshman season, we got dogpiled on our own field.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, dang, it'd be nice if we could do that. So when we got to do it, sophomore year, it was like, wow, we did it. We're the first. That was what was also so special, and it made it real again. Everything just became real.
Yeah. Just thinking about it now, it's just like, oh my gosh, we did that. And like, I got chills right now just thinking about it. Like, I wish everybody could experience that moment because it's one in a lifetime thing. And I mean, with being a JUCO school, you're 2 years, so you're only getting to play with those girls for 1 year, and having that moment with them, like, I don't know, it's great.
I was kind of in a state of like,
yeah, I was
did that.
I mean, running from second, I was probably a little out of breath, so I was like, okay, but I was in like awe, like, oh my gosh, like we did this, like we just run ruled Pearl River, like
Yeah.
Okay, well, now let's fast forward to the region tournament and finished runner-up for anybody who doesn't already know. But you guys took LSU Eunice to the limit in the semifinals, unless I'm mistaken, with extra innings. So, but just talk about that tournament, what it meant, and then knowing that, hey, but going into the finals, the regional finals, that, hey, we're already going to the World Series. Talk about that tournament and what it meant, knowing you were going to be the first ICC softball team to ever make it to nationals.
I think most teams, if they were in that situation, and not saying that they would, but like they'd be like, oh, we're already going to nationals, we're just going to play this game. If we get second, we get second. I mean, even though we did get second, we were still out there giving our all. Like, we were shooting for region champions. I mean, even though we had a bid to nationals, I mean, we were still out there giving our all and playing the best that we could. And Eunice is a good team, but I mean, we've never freshman year when we lost him, we only lost by 1 run, so it's always been close games. But I mean, we were still just giving our all, and I think that's what got us to where we are or where we were.
Yeah. I mean, I played against a lot of those girls from Eunice just with my years of travel ball. We all in kind of the same area, high school travel ball. So, I wanted it real bad, and we played hard. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better game. Going 9 innings with a very good team, with good coaching staff, good everything. And, in the long run, it is what it is. And we all defensively, offensively, it was an incredible game.
And with that game, sorry, Sam.
No, you're fine.
And with that game, Coach Kirk, he had hope in all of us. He gave the girls that might not have gotten as much innings as they wanted in the regular season, he gave them the chance. And, I mean, the score was still close. So that still shows, our team had so much potential, had so much depth. And, I mean, I think it intimidated them a little bit because at the beginning they were like, oh, they're playing their B team or whatever. But then they got an eye-opener oh, my gosh, these girls are just as good.
Mm-hmm. And then the games before that when we played Colin again and Pearl River again, you're seeing those teams 6-7 times even. So, that's intimidating for us to be able to beat them all those times again. That was awesome.
All right, well, you mentioned Colin, so you talk about having to play them again. Now, there was a play at game 2 of the doubleheader at their place in the regular season that was a questionable call that ended the game. With that call, was that call of JoJo being called out at home, was that on your mind when you met them in the region tournament and you're kind of like, we want to get some quote unquote revenge?
Oh, most definitely. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I wanted to be everybody, but when I saw that we was playing Colin, I was like, all right, this is it. We're about to show them, that was – I'm not going to say a fluke, but a fluke. We didn't play the best of our ability that game. We didn't come out hitting like we did the first game. So, I mean, they didn't see our full potential that second game like they did the first game. So, when we came out to play them again, I was thinking, all right, here y'all go.
Yeah. I was obviously mad. You can see in the video I slammed my helmet really hard on the ground because I'm the one that hit the ball in front in a second. So, I was trying to watch, but I couldn't. And there's just a lot of emotion behind that play because we were coming back 2 outs, and I was, yeah. Yeah.
But you got your revenge in regionals, and then you made it to the nationals, to the national tournament in Clinton. Take us through that real quick. And I mean, that opening game was a nail biter, and Rachel Cernisha was able to get the walk-off hit against Lewisburg, I believe it's Lewisburg. Just talk about, one, played in the national tournament, first time ICC's ever been there. Talk about what it means to be a part of the first team to ever make it. And then talk about that hit Rachel had that, just that opening game, how the excitement and energy was.
It was exciting. Being the first team to go, doing the first for any school is always exciting. Going down the books is always exciting. And then the first win, though, of your first game in nationals is a whole nother, whoa, that doesn't happen often. And Rachel coming in so clutch and hitting so good, she hit so good all season, and then doing what she does best, hitting oppo, scoring that winning run. It was just, it couldn't have happened any better.
Amazing.
I mean, we were the only Mississippi team in there, and I mean, we played other like Alabama JUCO schools, but just seeing like what other states like their competition and stuff. I mean, they were obviously good because they made it to nationals, but it's like a whole different world. And that first game, even though we played the whole season, that first inning, I got the first inning jitters again. I was just like, whoa. But that first game was a no-biter, and I was not on my game that first game. But Rachel coming in clutch, I mean, no doubt in my mind that somebody was going to come in clutch because it seems like every time we had 2 outs and we needed that one run or something, somebody laid a bunt down, hit in the gap, something happened. So no doubt in my mind that something was going to happen, and Rachel came in clutch that game, did what she needed to do.
We were all really dramatic with walk-offs this season.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Gore.
What's up? How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
I was supposed to be here earlier today to talk with y'all, but I know Lee's knocking it out of the park like always. But I just want to give y'all a shout out. Say I miss y'all. I hope y'all are staying safe.
Yes, sir.
See y'all. Sorry about that.
And for anybody who doesn't know, that is Sports Information Director Adam Gore. You'll hear his voice on just about anything at ICC. So,
and I apologize for that too.
Anyway, well, as you two definitely know, Gore and myself, we were with y'all a lot, and we were very fortunate to be a part of 2 great seasons with you two, and we're very. I know I can speak for Adam on this. We feel very fortunate not only to be a part of it, but to get to know y'all and just, y'all be part of our ICC family forever. But not to get too sentimental, but now we'll move forward even more in the national tournament where we were there. You played 3 more games against 3 other good teams. Obviously, wasn't able to get what we wasn't able to get the championship like we were wanting, of course. But you girls played your hearts out in all 4 games, and that last game, it was just one of those bad luck where everything went the other team's way. But I want you both to individually talk about just what that national tournament, the last out, the season's over, your career, unfortunately, in ICC's over, but talk about what it meant, or how long after that tournament did it take to sink in that this was really special?
Well, it took, just coming back for the summer, it still didn't hit me like it was over. It was just like another summer. It was like, oh, I got 2 more months and I'm going back, And it took, I would say, a couple of weeks after we got home, it really finally hit me like, whoa, like my 2 years at ICC is over.
It kind of hit me when we got back to campus and had to pack up the dorm, because Macey and I did live together, and we got back too late for me to go home that night. And Macey left, and I was like, wow, all right. Everyone was gone. It was just me in the dorm. I was literally by myself, and I was like, oh, that's it. It's done.
Being in a dorm by yourself is always different.
It's kind of creepy.
Okay. Well, one thing I definitely want to talk about with you, Sam, too, is, well, both of you being a part of the winningest class ever. Y'all rewrote the history book in your time here. But Sam, with you being the catcher and pretty much being behind the plate every game for both years, one, my knees hurt for you just thinking about that. But you got to catch statistically some of the best pitchers this program has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, off the top of my head, just thinking Bailey Springfield and Olivia Burns, and just talk about what it was like to be in the battery with either one of those 2 people any given day. And of course, now the rest of our pitchers are great. We're great as well and are great, but those 2 statistically just rewrote all the record books from in the circle here. So talk about what it meant from your perspective to be a part of their success.
I loved it. I loved trying to help them out the best I could, helping make them great, framing it up the best I could, blocking the best I could. But they're both just so different, and that was what was so much fun. Their pitches they threw the same pitches, but they were different, and making the transition from game to game was fun. And getting to be able to go up to talk to him on the mound was fun because, you have to talk to him different because they're two different people. Everyone's different. And it was just, fun, and to catch Olivia for 2 years and watch her grow and develop and know she's doing her thing at Delta State. It's just awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, now, Macey, with you being like I said, both of you being part of the winningest class in the program's history. Of course, first team making nationals, highest ever NJCAA ranking. Macey, what did it mean to you to be a part of that success and be a huge part of that success?
I mean, it felt good, obviously, but I think it helped. We helped build programs. It did. I feel like us performing well, it opened eyes to other girls. Like, whoa, this program, like, it's building, and it will always be a building program. Every program is, but I mean, we had great coaches, and that's what it takes. Great coaches to encourage us and make us better. Make us mad time to time to make us better. But I think just building the program and getting it out, like, this could be a possibility of where I could play, But I think that was a big reason because, I mean, not many people – I mean, I didn't know of Itawamba before I came, but most Mississippi people do. And, I mean, the past teams, they've been good, but just being able to break those records, and it's just building the program like the previous girls build the program for us.
Well, like you both said, now, of course, Macey being from Tennessee and Sam being from Louisiana, talk about Coach Kirk a little bit. Talk about what him bringing you into this program and making you aware of this program, and not only that, making you a huge part of this program from not just from when you were here, but forever. Just talk a little bit about Coach Kirk and what he means to you as a coach and now as a former coach.
I know being so far away from home, I mean, just checking in on us every once in a while. And there'd be times we'd go home, he would make sure we got home. And just having somebody just to know they're caring about you. And most coaches care about you, yes. But, I mean, not everybody has that coach that texts you and make sure you made it home or make sure you're doing okay. And then on the field, I mean, he has to be a coach. And there was times that I'm sure we all wanted to butt heads with him. But, I mean, that's part of it. But he made us better players. But the main thing, he checked on us and made sure. Because there's only 4 out-of-state people that can be on the team. And the other 2 that were out-of-state, they were closer to Mississippi than some of the people that lived in Mississippi. But he just made sure we were okay. And
Yeah, he would always, he would tease me, talk funny. I say different things. He would say words I had no idea what they mean. I have a wider vocabulary. Thank you, Coach. And, he did always make sure we were okay. He'd always be like, someone take Cox and Conley home with them. They can't go home every weekend. Always making sure we had a place to go and things to do. He would recommend things for us to do in town. And he tried to make Fulton our home as much as he could, and he really did.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, now most people don't know I do more photography than video, so I apologize if anybody has to watch any videos I do. But I took a picture of you, Sam, when your freshman year, when you're coming back to the plate after a mound visit, and you just have the biggest smile on your face. All right. One thing that picture stands out of all of them, the celebration photos. That one always stood out to me of all the players that I've ever taken pictures of, because to me, it truly represented your both of you, that entire sophomore class from last year. It kind of embodied what y'all were here, because you were competing, you were at war, so to speak, but y'all were smiling because y'all were having fun. Just go into a little detail about some of the stuff that made it so fun. Of course, you're softball players. Of course, you have fun playing softball, but what about your group that made wearing the red and blue just so much fun?
We were just a family. That's what I would say. And competing against your family can be hard. And the fact that nobody took it personal and that we could all come together at the end of the day and forget any mistakes that were made, any words that were said, that was in the game. Doesn't matter. Forget about it. it just really made it easier to, have fun and play.
Like Sam said, we could joke with each other, and then sometimes our jokes could be a little harsh, but nobody would take it personal. And like at the end of the day, like we could all laugh about it. But sometimes in those serious moments, like, I mean, we all can say stuff that in reality we don't mean, but we're just trying. We just want to win. I mean, we're just all so competitive, and then at the end of the day, we can all come back together and act like nothing happened and go on.
Everything was fun. Bus rides were fun.
Yes.
Hotels were fun.
Oh, hotels.
Dinners before hotels were fun. Dinners after hotels were fun. Getting up for breakfast was okay. But, like, everything else, we made it the best we could.
Okay, talking about fun, there's one thing that's always probably the most fun thing that I attend every year of any of our athletics, and that's the steak and beans and karaoke night. So just talk a little bit about that. And you talk about being a family, and I'm sorry, you got to be a special kind of crazy or really close family to be able to get up and sing in front of your peers when you can't sing. Not that you two can't, but there have been people who don't. But just talk about how much fun that is to be at the BSU and just eat together and have fun singing songs.
I think Coach Kirk thought I could sing. Do you remember that? He kept
Yes.
like, Conley, go sing. And he kept saying these songs. I had no idea what they were. And I was like, I don't know that song. I don't know that song. I don't know that song. But that was always fun. You have to be comfortable around each other to do it. And it's kind of in the beginning of season. We just kind of, it's towards the end of that fall season. So we know each other, but we're not like,
we're still getting to know each other. Yeah.
So I feel like that also helps kind of bring us closer as a team, because if you can sing in front of each other, then you can do anything.
I mean, some of us are more shy than others, but I mean, we were all pretty outgoing, and I mean, most of us didn't care because most of us knew that not many people could sing. So that's what made the best moments, is laughing at each other. But like Sam said, it was still at the beginning of the fall, but the end of fall. And I think most teams, that makes them close. But like the off season and the beginning, like when we come back after Christmas, that's when like the bonding like actually clicks. Because I know coming in freshman year, I didn't know nobody.
Yeah, same.
And I mean, I was still kind of shy at first and I love making new friends, and that was the best part. I love coming to ICC and not knowing anybody and making that friendship. And but I think just being able to go up there and sing our little hearts out.
All right, ladies. Well, quickly, just share, if you can remember one. Give me one funny memory that maybe happened in the dugout or something that fans and parents probably didn't see or was even aware of. Just give me one quick brief story of something that you feel like will always be in your memory that wasn't related to an actual play in the game.
Okay. Well, other than the fact that I got to experience my first snow, because we don't get snow down here, we were the only people on campus. Nobody was there. So a bunch of us brought cornhole in the lobby of Itawamba Hall, and we played cornhole. And there was chalk all over the stairwell and the walls and the windows, but it was fun because I never played cornhole before. And so I got to learn that and then see snow and do all that fun stuff and bond with the girls, of course. That was fun.
One thing that stuck out to me is, I mean, as kids, we all played hide and go seek. But my freshman year, when the sophomores asked, let's go play hide and seek. And I was like, okay, are we going to play on campus? What are we doing? They're like, no, in our cars. And I was like, hide and seek in your cars? What? But after going in, first time playing hide and seek in the cars, that was something we could do with our freshmen. And so that was pretty fun.
It was fun.
All right, ladies. Lastly, I just want to know, each of you, just talk about your time here in Fulton and ICC and what it means to you now, looking back. I mean, you're not even a year removed from not playing here anymore, but talk about what ICC and Fulton and everything here what it means to you now.
It means so much because all the friendships that I was able to build, not only with softball, but just other regular students in the classroom, like cheerleaders and basketball players, and it'll forever be my second home. I mean, I know I can come back anytime and I'll feel as welcome as I was when I first stepped on campus. I know I'll have that feeling. So
I thought it was special at a place I didn't even know existed.
yeah.
That would mean so much to me at the end of the day. We basically lived there for 2 years. And the fact that you could go there and have that experience where it's like, wow, this is home. I think that's really special. You can't get that anywhere else.
Mm.
You can go to schools and you can play at the school and, go to class and have teachers, whatever. But like we had teachers that came to games to like cheer us on by name and, like talk to us about it the next day in class. Like, hey, that was really cool what you did, So
Yeah, I liked it that we weren't just a number in the classroom. Like they actually got to know us on a semi-personal level. Like, I mean, they knew who we were, and that helped out a lot too.
For sure.
All right, ladies. Well, just anything else, I just want to open it up to you. Anything else you want to add from last season or your time here at ICC?
I don't think so.
I think you covered it all.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me today. It's been so much fun to talk to you guys again. Everybody here at ICC, we're proud of you where you're at now and can't wait to see where you go in the future. But just y'all stay safe where you are. Tell your families hey, and just know y'all are always welcome in Fulton. Once this whole ban is lifted, y'all come back in Fulton anytime.